If you told me 9 years ago that I would be sitting here telling you this story, I would have called you a liar. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Oh boy, do I have a story for you. You guys have already seen the title and the thumbnail, but something crazy happened this past week and I wanted to sit down and talk about it because this is my new personality, okay? My brain refuses to talk about absolutely anything else other than this. So if you guys follow me on any of my other Swiftie social media platforms, you saw that this past week on October 11th, I was invited by Taylor Nation to the ERAS tour film world premiere in LA. And I wanted to sit down with you guys and talk about the whole thing, what led up to it, how I got invited, what happened at the event, all the things. So if you're interested and want to reminisce with me, keep watching. Before we begin, I just wanted to say that if you are new, hi, my name is Alexis. I have been a Taylor Swift fan for all of my life, practically. I was 7 years old when my family introduced me to Taylor. I went to my first concert of hers when I was 11, and I have been here ever since. I am now 23 years old, and I'm still here. And if you want to follow me on any of my other Swiftie social media platforms, I have a Twitter, Instagram, and a TikTok. All three and more will be linked down below. But without further ado, let's talk about the best night of my life. Okay, I'm gonna kind of be leaning to the side so I can put up pictures right here. But we begin our story on September 28th. On September 28th, I woke up at like 7 a.m. My body innately woke me up that early, and I received a DM from Taylor Nation. They actually reached out to me over on Twitter, which I was kind of shocked about. They also said to keep the invitation and the event confidential until the actual event. They also gave you 1+1 that you had to RSVP for, and my +1 was actually my Thea. A little side story, if you don't know, I actually met Taylor when I was 14 years old in New York City outside of Good Morning America on 1989 release day. My Thea is actually the one who brought me to that event, and we both got a picture, got to say hi, and all the things. My Thea is also the person who introduced me to Taylor when I was 7, got me my first merch, has taken me to all of the tours. So I knew that if I ever got invited to anything Taylor related, that would be the person I would bring. And so I got to live that out and bring my Thea with me. And it ended up being a really full circle moment, but we'll get there. My Thea actually lives in LA. So what we did was me and my husband drove from Arizona to LA the day before the event, stayed at my Thea's apartment, and then went to the event the day after. So moving on to the day of the event. So the funny thing is after I got the Taylor Nation DM, they said that you will RSVP, but we can't guarantee any tickets will be given to you because it's first come, first serve. So it just depended on if you RSVP'd in time. I RSVP'd like 10 minutes after they DM'd me, but I was still very anxious if the email from AMC with our actual tickets would come, and it didn't come until like 5 days after I got the DM, and I was a nervous wreck. But obviously the tickets came, thank you AMC. But after you received your tickets from AMC, then you were good. They were in my Apple Wallet and I was good to go to the event. I also kept quiet about this on social media the entire time. I was so terrified because when Taylor Nation tells you that it's confidential, you better not break that. So I didn't tweet for like 2 days after I got the DM. Didn't tweet 2 days before the event. I was terrified. But anyway, moving on to the day of the event. So the morning of, I got ready. I was anxiously waiting to leave. We didn't get the actual location until 2 p.m. the day of the event. That's how it was always supposed to be, but of course it leaked that the Grove was holding the event the morning of. So we already kind of knew that it would be at the Grove, but we technically didn't get the email saying this is the time you show up, it's going to be at this location until 2 p.m. that day. So once we got our parking instructions and location of the event, we left. We rolled up to the Grove around 4 p.m. That's when check-in started. We got to park in the parking garage, and then we were ushered to our first check-in point. There were a few check-in points. So the first checkpoint was actually in the parking garage before you entered the Grove. And they scanned your little QR code, they checked your ID to make sure you were who you were, and then they gave you 2 wristbands. One wristband I think was for the open bar, and then this wristband is a green wristband that we didn't know what it meant. event at that time. So they gave us 2 wristbands and then we headed down the escalators to where the event was actually going on. When we entered the like main part of the Grove, we had another check-in point with Taylor Nation. We had to get in order of last name to actually get our ticket. This was a little invitation that we got with a beautiful envelope with our little name on it. And fun fact, each person got a different theater. There were, I think, like 11 or 14 theaters in this AMC, and so everyone got assigned a different theater and seat. I was in theater 2, which is actually pretty special, but we'll get to that. But this was a cute little invitation that they gave us. So actually, when I was checking in at the Taylor Nation table, I heard an employee talk to another fan, and they said something along the lines of like, you guys have the green wristbands because you guys get fan interaction. And I was like, what's fan interaction? After check-in, we were then ushered to a huge barricade. And so I went to go stand at the barricade next to my friend Cora, and we took really cute pictures. We were kind of still confused of why they ushered us to stand near this barricade. Everyone started getting like the suspicion that like maybe Taylor would come out and like walk in front of us or like take pictures with people. But I was very, very, very much in denial. I'm a very superstitious person and also anxious. And so I didn't want to give my hopes up and it not happen. So we stood there at the barricade for like an hour and a half until Taylor came out. This is when I was like, okay, maybe it's happening. And when Taylor came out, she started taking pictures with every single person that was up against the barricade, trying to get group photos so everyone can be in it. It was so, so sweet. And that's when I finally told my Thea, who was standing right next to me, I looked over at her and I was like, how the hell did we manage to do this again? Like I said, Taylor took her time with everybody. She then started coming up to my side of the barricade. I was like rehearsing things in my head of what I wanted to say to her. They all flew out the window. So she then came to me, she took my phone, we took a few pictures, and by a few, she spammed my phone. Thank God my Thea could muzzle up some words because I couldn't. My Thea right next to me, as Taylor's done taking my picture, she looks at Taylor and she was like, this is such a full circle moment because in 2014, we were at GMA, and then I finished my Thea's sentence and said, for 1989 release. And I could tell you how Taylor reacted, but a beautiful soul actually recorded the entire interaction, so you can just watch.
Hi, you guys. Hi, how are you? I don't know.
1989 release. How is any of that real? My recollection was literally none of that. I didn't retain any of what actually happened. So I'm so, so thankful that someone actually filmed it and you can hear our entire conversation because I blacked out, okay? I didn't remember any of it. And to top it all off, Taylor was out there taking pictures with everyone for like an hour and a half. She was signing things, she was drawing on people for tattoos. She was so freaking generous with her time and effort and just everything. Like, she really prioritized the fans during this event, and I exceeded all my expectations, okay? And I also want to say that all of the people that I was around during that event, everyone was so sweet to each other after we all got to meet Taylor. Everyone was coming up to you and like, oh my gosh, show me your picture, I'll show you mine, like, oh my gosh, how cute. Like, it was just so amazing to just see everybody in that kind of environment. So after Taylor left our little barricaded red carpet, we got let into the other half of the red carpet that was right in front of the theater. There was a Capital One booth, there were little banners that you could take photos in front of, and everyone was kind of ushered into the theater at that point. So me and my Thea were walking into the theater, and in the theater, it was insane. It was beautiful. They had floral arrangements everywhere. There was an open bar, there were free snacks, free water, free drinks, free popcorn in the cute popcorn bucket. So I did get this at the premiere. They were handing them out full of popcorn and I love it, okay? I'm gonna find a good use for it. and its use is going to be sitting pretty right there. After we got our popcorn and like took some pictures, we went into our theater, which was theater number 2. We went to our assigned seats and we were kind of just waiting there. The screen was really cute. It said like ERAS Tour Film World Premiere October 11th. It was super, super cute. Took some pictures and then we just kind of waited until the movie started. Some crazy, crazy people were in my theater. Adam Sandler was sitting 2 rows in front of us with his family. Haley Kiyoko and her girlfriend were sitting in front of us. Maren Morris was sitting in front of us. And then to top it all off, all 4 of Taylor's backing vocalists were also seated in our theater. They were so cute. They were taking pictures before the movie started. They were singing, dancing along, having fun. I did not go up to them and take a picture because they were just having too much fun and I didn't want to like bombard them. But it was kind of crazy because the person I was sitting next to on the other side was actually, I think, like a film critic. Like the entire movie, she was like writing stuff in like her little notebook. The entire row behind us was like full of like men and women in like black suit and tie. So there was some pretty official looking people in our theater. But we waited in the theater for like an hour and a half before Taylor actually came in, which, fun fact, when we were on the red carpet, a security guard came up to me and my friends and was like, hey, just so you know, when you guys get in the theater, Taylor's gonna come to each and every single theater and say a little thing before the movie starts. So I already knew that Taylor was gonna come into the theater. And so it took like an hour and a half for her to actually come in. And then my Thea was like, what if she's saving us for last because she's actually gonna sit in here and watch it with us? And I was like, you're delusional. So then Taylor actually comes into the theater, grabs a little microphone, is in front of the entire auditorium. She was saying something like, I'm so proud of this film. It was directed by so-and-so. Like, I'm so happy. Like, my bandmates are in here, like, you know, shouting them out, doing her whole little spiel. And then she says, and you guys are actually stuck with me because I'm gonna be sitting in here and watching it with you. And I was like, what dream am I in? Because this is so fake. But she did. She finished her little speech and freaking sat 4 rows in front of me, danced the entire time, sang the entire time. Her and her background singers were like screaming. But I swear Taylor sat in the theater until after the credits. She did not leave until the screen turned black. And it was just such a surreal moment. Like, I cannot believe I can say that I watched the ERAS Tour movie with Taylor Swift. Like, that sounds so fake. But anyway, the movie was amazing. I got so choked up during Enchanted just because like it was just such a full, like I'm getting chills right now. Like it was such a full circle moment to like meet Taylor 9 years after I met her during the 1989 era, in the 1989 Taylor's version era, to then be seated with her in the same theater watching Enchanted. It was such a moment and I'm still like so in awe. Anyway, so the movie ends, Taylor leaves, we exit the theater. Fun fact, we walked out of the theater right behind her background vocalists and they were so sweet. Like one of them turned around to me as we're walking out and was like, my voice is gone. I was screaming so loud. And it was just such like a, oh my God, you're just like a normal human. Like it was just such a weird out of body experience. And I was like, same girl. But then we left AMC. I got to say hi to some of my friends as I was leaving. We got in the car, we got in and out. We went back to the apartment and I think I slept for like 4 hours and woke up straight off of adrenaline at like 6:30 in the morning. And then we drove back home to Arizona and here we are now. I will say that that hands down like was the best night of my entire life. I cannot thank Taylor Nation enough for reaching out to me and wanting to invite me to this. I kept telling my husband and my Thea, like, if you told me 10 years ago, little 13-year-old Alexis, who all she wanted was a DM from Taylor Nation, if you told her and was like, hey, you're gonna get it, but you're gonna have to wait 10 years. Flash forward to 2023, I'm now 23 years old, I finally got the DM. I also want to say very quickly, I met somebody at the premiere that got invited by Taylor Nation, has never had a Taylor Nation notice, has never had a Taylor notice, and has 300 followers and still got invited. I just want to say, don't lose hope. I started a fan account in 2011. It's now 2023, and this is my first time that I got a Taylor Nation DM. Be patient. I promise it will happen, but that's just proof that it doesn't matter what size the account is, how many notices you have, whatever it may be. Taylor and Taylor Nation are always watching. But that is it. That is the story of how I met Taylor and how I got invited to my first Taylor event by Taylor Nation. I am so unbelievably thankful and grateful and all the gratitude words. I am so happy. And I love you guys. You guys have been so sweet to me. Everyone that I met at the premiere, I love you so much. Everyone was so kind. Taylor, girl, I love you. You are the most generous human being ever, and I will love you forever. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want, you can follow me on all of my other social medias. I will have them linked down below. And I love you guys so much. And I will talk to you guys in my next video.